ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Hello and welcome into the show. Everybody's having a very, very good Friday, and we're getting ready for the KNMZ football roundtable. We only have 2 weeks of regular season high school football waiting for us, and we're looking forward to hopefully some fun games over these last couple of weeks. Of course, I'll be in Roswell tonight as Alamogordo faces off with the Coyotes or the Coyotes or whatever way you like to do that one. They'll be on the road tonight will the Tigers. We're a little bit light on our crew right now. I know Tim is unavailable right now. He had some duties with his job that he had to do today. So I just got his picks. I assume he's not going to be here, and I think I just saw somebody else walking in, and that would be Jake. But we do have Manny Gonzalez from Charles Garland and Harris Agency. Manny, how are you?
Well, pretty nice, brisk start to the day, wasn't it?
Definitely cold.
Finally, some cold weather to enjoy with our autumn demeanor of this time of year.
There you go.
You're doing well, thank you.
Happy to have you here. Ricky Raridan is here with us. I got his last name right this time. He's filling in for Lara from First National Bank. Ricky, good to see you, man.
You too.
And your glorious beard again. We don't have Tim to talk about your glorious beard.
That's all right. We got it in. So
there you go. That's what matters. People in radio world can't see the glorious beard. So Jake Roberts from Caldwell Banker Sudworth Nelson just walked in. Jake, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Doing real good. Yeah, that cold weather kind of shocked me a little bit this morning. Below freezing at 5 o'clock in the morning was a little too much, and my beard's not quite as glorious, but I'm working on it.
We're getting there.
He's trying to get better at it. As I mentioned, Tim most likely won't be here for the show. We'll see if Brandon or probably maybe Justin is running in here in a second. Like last week, Justin filled in for Brandon. So we'll look forward to. Oh wait, hold on. I see text from Brandon now. Bad traffic, he's close. Okay, so he's on his way. There was a laugh out loud in there.
Is it bad traffic, or did he just leave late? Let's be honest. It's Alamogordo. Traffic is not that bad.
But you know what? You hit certain places where you hit certain traffic lights in this town, and you can sit there forever. I found a new one. There's a few in town that I know. The new one that I found is Washington and 10th, where the left-hand turn signals will fire even when there's nobody in the left-hand lane on either side. It's fantastic.
There's a couple.
Yeah, there's a few that are like that.
One or two that are a little goofy.
All right, let's get to the college show. Let's get to the picks for this week. We should mention nobody really jumped out there last week. Jake had the best week, went 12-4. Myself and Lara and Tim all went 11-5. Manny and Brandon both 9-7. So we had a lot of a lot of different picks last week, but we all made some, we all missed some, so nobody really got them all right last week. So kind of how it usually goes. All right, only 2 games left in the regular season for the Alamogordo Tigers. Lost last week to Goddard 40-10. Now they play the other Roswell High School in the Roswell Coyotes at the Wool Bowl. Roswell 48-28 pulled away from Artesia in the second half. That was a 21-21 game, and Roswell came up with a big interception and pulled away from there. I think they outscored the Coyotes. That would be, I think, 27-7 over the remainder of that game to pull away. So they're 8-0. They are the number 1 team in Class 5A. If you look at the overall rankings on Max Preps, they're number 2. They are a very good football team, exceptionally fast. Talking to Coach earlier this week, they don't have maybe the size that some other teams have, but their athleticism is incredible. Alamogordo is going to need their best football game of the year, maybe just even compete against this Roswell team. But I thought Alamo did some good things last week. They were able to move the ball, just couldn't really finish off drives. Defensively, they had some problems in there. They did make some stops, but certainly wasn't enough against a very good Rockets football team. Manny?
Well, I'll have Game 3 on television, but I'll have you on the radio.
All right.
So you'll have, at least I will be listening.
Okay.
You could be assured of that.
I certainly hope there's more than just 2. But
and by the way, when I listen to you on the radio, I turn on all the radios.
I appreciate that.
Throughout the house, because as I move around, I don't sit there and just stare at the radio, of course.
Yeah.
But and try to imagine which way the teams are going on the radio dial, as you so aptly describe every beginning of the game.
Yeah, I've stolen that from many people before me.
But you will have my full attention except whatever's on the television. So, but I'll have the sound down on the TVs. I just want to make that assurance to you. Okay?
I appreciate that. It's good to know that you're out there, man.
Yeah, and so Roswell, obviously they're got a great thing going with this season, and you gotta give them their credit due. Certainly the Coyotes are going to play well, and they're probably on a march to a championship in the state. But I'm going to go ahead and stay with the Tigers just because ceremonial. That's what I do. I'm going to stay with the Alamogordo Tigers on the road against Roswell Coyotes.
Yeah, there's another one. So Coyotes, which is, I guess, the gringo way to say it, or Coyotes, which I guess is even more way to say it that way. All right, Ricky, who do you like?
Yeah, Lara's got Roswell winning this one. I think most of us are going to have Roswell.
Yeah. Brandon Burling from Desert Set Auto Group, who was stuck in traffic. What's going on,
I
man?
wasn't necessarily stuck in traffic. I do want to make a reminder that on White Sands Boulevard, there is a big section that's 45 miles an hour, not 30. That's what I was stuck in. So,
I know.
And you get two people going the same speed, side by
yes.
side, and you have nothing to do but just to sit there and just take in the scenery, the zoo and the...
We should do a
The
public service
park,
announcement
and-
of exactly where that starts and where it ends. I think more people need to know.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of traffic out and around. It seems like
a busy
there's-
weekend in
Yeah,
town.
busy weekend. So nice, cool, brisk fall day.
All right. You got the Tigers, you got the Coyotes.
I'm gonna go with Roswell on this one. Roswell at 8-0. I mean, that's stout. I mean, you can't at home. Yeah, it's hard to go pick against them.
Okay. Jake.
Alamogordo is doing better. We're super stoked with how this season went. I don't think they're going to have enough in this game, but it's nice to see that the program is turning a corner. Hopefully they keep that momentum, but I just can't see them beating Roswell today.
I'd love to see Alamogordo have a complete game where they play their best, because I don't think we've seen that yet this year.
We had 2 canceled games because of weather. I mean, they really haven't played much football at all.
Well, I think at this point in the season, they've got to be hitting. I mean, if they're going to get it, they only got 2 games left to make it happen. But I agree. I mean, the Lovington game ended early. They didn't get to play the Valencia game. They should be on 3 wins right now. I think they would have won that Valencia game going away. But, just unfortunate for Alamogordo that, this back into the schedule is really tough. And I know they want to play these games, but it's challenging. I'm going to go with Roswell. They're the number 1 team in the state. And again, I think for Alamogordo, they've got to prove that they can beat a team like this before a lot of us are going to jump out there with them. But best of luck to the guys. I hope they have a great game. Hope they shock the world tonight. I would love to see a huge upset.
I would
Well,
love
and,
to be
and think
wrong.
about the communities of El Paso and Las Cruces that have college teams that are really struggling.
Yeah.
And those programs require a lot of attention, a lot of loving care, and a lot of money. And so those people over there, are in a real tough jam. Here we're talking about high school football, guys. Come on, we're talking about 16, 17-year-old kids, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And so you got to keep it in perspective. And this is one high school town. It's the only high school we've got, and it's the only football team we've got. So, go Tigers.
Absolutely. And we're all rooting for the Tigers. I think we all should make that very, very clear that we're definitely pulling for them.
Except for Lara. Lara's never rooting for the
Except
Tigers.
for Lara. There you go. She's not even here to defend herself, Jake.
That's exactly why.
Tim went with Roswell as well. Tim, like I said, is not going to be available for today's game, today's show. So, but yeah, and again, I say it a lot on the radio show. I like what Coach Cisco has done. I think he's turned this program around from how tough it was 2 years ago, and hopefully, we keep seeing an upward trend. Obviously, they want some more wins. Everybody wants that. So.
It'll be interesting to see how they fill in for next year. I was really hoping this year, because we had so many seniors. This was going to be the opportunity for those kids who'd struggled for a couple of seasons to really have a great year. And so I'm going to be really interested to see how the body looks next year for next season. What do you think, Charles? Or do we have?
Yeah, there's some talent. They're going to miss some of the guys that are on this year's team. That offense, they're going to have a whole new offensive line next year. Everybody's a senior, so that'll obviously be a question mark. But I think they've got a lot of talent. The quarterback, Viescas, will be back next year, and there's a few other guys in that set. So
Good. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely some talent that's going to be coming next year. All right, Tularosa trying to keep their run towards number 1 seed in Class 3A alive. They go on the road and play the New Mexico Military Institute. They're in Roswell. They'll be just up the road from where the Tigers are playing tonight. Nimmies 5-3. They lost to Dexter last week, 28-18. Tularosa cruised past Tucumcari, 53-0. That game was over in the third quarter last week. So, kind of what we figured with the Wildcats last week. Could be similar. Nimmies, sort of weird one. Their record's 5-3. Their schedule has not been nearly as tough as Tularosa's has been. But it's a district game, and I was surprised at how close the Colts kept it last week with the Demons. So I feel like Tularosa, this is one that they should have, and I think that they could win by a similar margin that they did last week. But they definitely got to be ready to go, and they've got 2 road games to finish up the season. Here's the first one to try to win a district championship. Ricky?
Yeah, I think Tularosa's played well this year, and that's who we got winning.
All right. Brandon?
They have Tularosa ranked up pretty high this year. I mean, they've had a great season. They got some great talent, and I don't see that anywhere close to New Mexico Military Institute. I think they're going to go over there and win hands down.
Okay. Tim is taking Tularosa as well. Jake?
Did Thule take? Did Tim take Roswell in the?
Yes.
Okay, I assumed as much. I'm taking Tularosa.
Now, this text says Rowell, but I assume they meant Roswell. I'm going to go with Tularosa.
We shouldn't assume. I think we should make a decision.
I'm going to go with Thule. I think they've played so well this year, and just a credit to Coach Grace and the job that he's done out there, and all of his assistant coaches and this group of seniors that they've got out there. They're really solid on offense and defense. I can't wait to see the 3A playoffs. I think they're going to be a blast. Manny?
Tularosa is 3-0 on the road. The Nemi Colts are 3-1 at home. The Colts have put up 170 points, given up 169. On the other hand, the Wildcats have put up 217, only given up 72. This is an easy one to pick. I'm going Wildcats.
All right. Back to the Bulldog Bowl. Artesia hosting Goddard this week. Goddard improved to 7-1 with their win over Alamogordo last week. Artesia dropped to 5-3. And this could set up something interesting next week. Artesia has played a lot of tough teams this year. Their defense has been a little suspect at times, but I've said all year, or at least over these last 5-6 weeks, that if Alamogordo can win one of these last 4 games, they'll get in the playoffs. I guarantee if Artesia loses this week and Alamogordo loses this week, that game next week, if Alamo wins, they're in because they would actually finish ahead of Artesia in the district. So Tigers can maybe put everything into that. Hopefully they're putting everything into tonight's game as well. But this is another tough one to pick. I think Artesia could have beaten Roswell last week, and I think this is another one of those coin flip kind of games. Now, Brandon, you will go first, but I will give you that Tim picked Artesia to start things off. So he's picking a little bit of, I think, a little bit of an upset there. 7-1 versus 5-3.
I'm going to go with that. I mean, the Roswell Goddard schools have been having a great year. I mean, it's been a while since you've seen both schools doing really well. Usually it's one or the other, but for both of them to be playing the way they are, good for that area. I'm going to have to go Goddard on this one. I haven't seen enough. I know Artesia's had a tough schedule, but I just don't think Artesia is quite the team they've been in the past. I think Goddard wins on this one.
I think, number one, they've given up a ton of points on defense this year. I don't know if Manny will have that here in a second for us. Jake?
Yeah, I think Artesia's just kind of had a rough road this year. They haven't been the team that we know them to be. Not really sure what's going on there. Things happen, but I'm going to stick with the Goddard Rockets this year, so let's take them for the win.
Yeah, and I think, again, it's just, one high school town. Sometimes you're not going to have the talent that you have in other years, and that's, that's how it will be for Artesia. And they have these up and down years every now and then. I don't think Tim made a bad pick there. I'm going to go Goddard, but, man, I don't feel very good about that pick. Artesia at home. So hard to win in the Bulldog Bowl. Manny?
Yeah, and by the way, that Tularosa Nemi game, that's literally right across the street from each other. It's the size of a parking lot and the size of 6 lanes of traffic across the street. They're right across the street from each other.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
And so those lights will be gleaming back and forth at each other. Goddard and Artesia. Goddard has put up 286 points, given up 56 points. That's the lowest points given on the game, any of the games we're considering on the high school level right now. Artesia puts up points, 401, but they've given up 289. That's the difference in this one. I'm going Goddard on the road. It's only 40 miles, by the way.
Yeah, not much of a road trip. Ricky?
Yeah, we've got Goddard as well.
Okay. Alrighty, I should mention that Tim is working this game, so we won't be doing his pick here on the air. Carlsbad and Las Cruces, which is coming up tonight over at the Field of Dreams. Carlsbad 5-3. Las Cruces is 6-2, and a bit interesting district matchup. Carlsbad, or I should say Las Cruces, has got it set up next week for a matchup with Mayfield. The big showdown is going to be for the district championship if they win this game. So they've got to avoid maybe a little bit of a surprise here. Carlsbad's had a good season, and both teams are coming off wins over Oñate. Carlsbad's coming off the bye, though, so you wonder if maybe that'll have a little bit of an impact for them. They've got to make a long road trip over there to Las Cruces, though. Jake, who do you like?
Cruces.
Cruces, going with the Bulldogs. Yeah, I'm going Cruces at home. I'd love to jump out there with Carlsbad, but I think the Bulldogs beating Centennial earlier this year. Who knows what happens next week against Mayfield, but I think they take care of business here. Manny?
Man, oh man. I'm glad Tim's working this game. At least we know the officiating will be official.
There you go.
This is a hard one to pick. This will go either way. It probably will go to the wire. Carlsbad's put up 238 points, given up 156. Las Cruces has put up 342 and given up 192. Carlsbad, that informs me that Carlsbad's defense is playing a little better, but it's at the Field of Dreams. I think that could be the difference here. That long road trip, I'm going Bulldogs at home.
Ricky?
Yeah, and we've got Las Cruces winning as well.
Brandon?
I have to commend you. You had some great picks this week. So, I mean, it's every one of these games. I don't think there's all but maybe one that's going to just be a blowout, and that's the OU game. But
No, he's right. It will be.
but I'm just saying, good picks. These are all going to be very good games. A lot of excitement happening in the football world in New Mexico this week. Road trip in Cruces. Cruces, has played some tough games. Their two losses are both tough losses. So to some very good competitors, I'm gonna go Cruces at home.
All right. And lastly, Volcano Vista on the sheet again this week. They beat Cleveland last week. Now they get the other Rio Rancho school, who I kind of think the Rams might be better than the Storm this year. Rio Rancho's 6-2. They got off to a terrible start this year. They blew a huge lead against Centennial, ended up losing that game in overtime, then lost to a Colorado school the next week. But they've ripped off 6 straight since then, so they're playing some hot football. Volcano Vista's 8-0, and I think should be looked at as the prohibitive favorite to win the Class 6A state championship this year. This game is Saturday, by the way. It's going to be played over at Community Stadium in Albuquerque on the west side. But this is, I was going back and forth in this. I'm going to go Rio Rancho. I think the Rams are going to pull off the upset here. I think this is a close game. I know Volcano Vista took care of business last week, but I don't know. There's something about the way Rio Rancho's played over the last 6 weeks that gives me hope they can win this game. So, jumping out there. Manny?
I'm going to have to disagree.
All right.
The Hawks have put up 357 points and given up 64 points. That's on their 8-game winning record. 64 points. This is about defense. Unless the defense completely collapses tomorrow afternoon, Volcano Vista Hawks will win.
All right. Ricky?
Yeah, we're going Volcano Vista as well.
All right. Brandon?
I commend you, Charles. You got plenty of room to give there. That one loss
At least
isn't
one
gonna,
game.
Yeah, that one game's not going to bother you too much. I like Volcano Vista.
All right. Tim likes Volcano Vista. Jake, who do you like?
I'm going to go ahead and take Volcano Vista, too. It was a defensive move that I decided to go with them. I do agree that Rio Rancho's playing hot. This was a little bit of a tricky situation for me, but I'm going to stick with Volcano Vista.
All right. Let's see if I can get this one. I would be excited. Sometimes I can get those high school games every now and then. All righty. Also want to mention that Mescalero Apache plays their final game of the regular season tonight against Capitan. They are at home, so best of luck to the Chiefs. And so we'll take a break. We'll come back. More of the KNMZ Football Roundtable coming up for you next on ESPN Alamogordo.
At Charles Garland and Harris Insurance, we are proud of the great high schools in Alamogordo, Cloudcroft, Mescalero, and Tularosa. Our student athletes set a valuable example for everyone to follow. They work hard to succeed in the classroom and in competitive sports and contribute enormous time and energy to bring pride to their schools and community. At Charles Garland and Harris Insurance, as we work hard to protect the families and businesses of Otero County, we proudly take pause to follow our student athletes and extend our best wishes for their success every day in the classroom and on game day.
Sometimes you just need a loan. Your daughter Debbie is getting married. Your son Toby needs a new tuba. Let's face it, families cost money. Things come up that you had no way of predicting. We make personal loans for occasions like this to people who have good credit. So next time you find yourself connected to the unexpected, stop in and see us about a personal loan, subject to credit approval. First National Bank, member FDIC. When you grow, we grow.
Are you looking to rent or need someone to manage your property? Hi, I'm Jake Roberts with Coldwell Banker, Sudderth Nelson. Did you know that we are the largest property management company in Alamogordo? Whether you are looking for a short-term housing solution or to turn an existing property into a great long-term investment, give us a call at 575-437-1137. Visit our website today at alamogordocoldwellbanker.com or come by and see us at 800 Scenic Drive.
Wow. look at all those bright colors.
Yep, good old Tularosa Basin sunsets.
No, Mike, I just came from the Chevy house and I have a 2020 in my sights.
While everyone else still has 2019 vision, we have the new 2020 models in stock right now.
With supplier pricing in full effect for the 2019 models,
Which gotta go.
you can also get a great deal on a brand new, just in inventory, newly released, never ever seen before, new to the area.
Hey, they get it. The 2020s are exclusively here at Desert Sun Motor Chevrolet.
Plus, we have the best in market, best service, tenderly loved and regrettably traded in pre-owned vehicles within 250 miles. We will not be undersold. All offers will be accepted.
That's right. With little or no money down financing and higher than market value for your trade, how could you not come down to 2600 North White Sands Boulevard or visit us online at DesertSunMotors.com.
See dealer for details. All available 2019s are still in stock. Not all 2020s have arrived yet. Deals may be the hottest under the sun. Purchase of one or more vehicles could increase your heart rate. Proud supporter of Taco Tuesdays. Keep hands and feet inside at all times. Do not attempt this at home.
Here at Christ Community, we are all about Jesus, we're all about people, and all about community. We are more than a building, more than a gathering. We are more than a religion. We are a place to belong, a place to be changed, and a place to experience relationship with God and others. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, and no matter what you've done, Jesus loves you, we love you, and you belong here at Christ Community.
ESPN Alamogordo 103.7, and welcome back into the KNMZ Football Roundtable. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday. Hopefully you're warm wherever you may be here on this Friday. We've got NMSU on the air tomorrow, noon pregame, 1 o'clock kickoff as they take on Georgia Southern. So you can listen to that here on ESPN Alamogordo. And, of course, tonight you can hear Tigers and Coyotes from the Wool Bowl in Roswell, 6:30 pregame and 7 o'clock kickoff. All right, let's start off with the one easy pick, I think, on our sheet, but it was within my line of usually putting our teams on here. So we haven't had Oklahoma on the sheet a ton this season. So OU going to Manhattan to take on Kansas State. They're getting 23.5 in this game. Every now and then Oklahoma finds one of these games to kind of have an issue, and it's a road game. I don't think it'll be this one, but certainly these are the games, not the big ones, that Oklahoma seems to have get tripped up with at some point in their season, right, Brandon?
We call those sleepers.
Yeah.
Where they catch them sleeping on the sidelines. But I don't think this game is going to be that game. Kansas State, has had a fairly good year this year. And those Kansas schools, I mean, they're both can be great teams, but I got to go OU on here.
Yeah.
Go Sooners.
Yeah, we were just talking during the break. Jayhawks are much better this year there at Kansas, and Kansas State, they've been I think more consistent team in recent years, but yeah, this is going to be a tough one for them.
If you look at Lincoln Riley's win-loss record, and you look at his salary, he's probably one of the most underpaid coaches in the entire college.
Now, if he goes out there and wins the national title, that'll change things real fast. So, by the way, Tim is also going OU. Jake.
So the headline reads, Oklahoma ready to lay Hurts on Kansas State.
Ah, that's nice. I like that.
As well it should be, because, again, Alabama quarterback. Running the OU. Yeah, let's
he's
talk
an Oklahoma quarterback now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, anyway, so I've been a big fan of Hurts. Love the way he plays the game. Love the way he approaches the game. Super mature mentally. Love the guy. I don't think he's going to have any problems cutting up Kansas.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he won't have any problems in this game. And it was nice. Nick Saban was talking about Hurts and talking about how happy he is to see that he's doing well there in Norman. So, Manny?
Well, Kansas State's forward to over and under on this guy, by the way, is 57.5. Kansas State has lost to Baylor and Oklahoma State. I don't think this is a bad football team, and they may make it interesting. But Oklahoma, if they get into third gear and start running downhill, the 23.5 point spread is going to be validated. So I'm going to go Oklahoma on the road.
Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, Hurts is a really good Heisman candidate, and I mean, OU's ranked, 5th in the nation, so we got Oklahoma winning.
Yeah, and Brandon talked about it. I mean, they sort of struggled in the first half against Kansas a little bit earlier on this season, so another trip to Trevor, what Kansas is? What state are they? The nickname for the you would know that, man. You spent some time there in Kansas, didn't you?
Are you talking? Okay, there's 2 schools, right?
No. I'm talking about the nickname for the state of Kansas, not the school. Anyway, that's fine. Like we're the land of enchantment. I was trying to think what Kansas was. Doesn't matter. I figured I'd jump out. Somebody knew that. All right, Notre Dame going to Michigan. 1-point favorite to Michigan. I'm kind of surprised that they're a favorite. I think I saw even a little bit earlier this week too. So I think that line's been fluctuating a bit. Michigan played well last week against Penn State, just couldn't quite pull it out. And this is an old school rivalry. This is one of those great games in college football that I think even if you're not an Irish fan or Wolverines fan, you love to tune into it. So, Manny, what do you think?
Notre Dame and Michigan. Notre Dame is 5-1, only lost to Georgia. Michigan lost to Penn State and to Wisconsin. It's in the big house. It's in prime time, Saturday night. Wow, this is exciting. This is exciting. I know Michigan's going to be up for this game, but if Notre Dame does not win this one, their chances, any chance at a shot at a national title is gone. If that's not enough motivation for Notre Dame, I don't know what else to do except sit back and watch. That's what I'll be doing. Go Irish.
By the way, Kansas is the sunflower state.
Or the Jayhawkers. Or Jayhawkers. I was looking it up.
Yeah.
We've got Notre Dame going in and winning. I think they played well this year. Michigan's got the 2 losses. It went into second overtime against Army. I think Notre Dame's got this one.
I'm a little surprised the line is as close as it is. I think Notre Dame's probably the better team, but I don't know. Home field maybe for Michigan, and their defense is pretty good. Brandon?
I think it was the same way last week. I think I looked at the line, and I'm like, man, it doesn't seem like they're
Michigan Penn State game?
It seems like they're favoring Michigan a lot more than what they are playing. It doesn't make any sense to me. I haven't been happy with the way Michigan's played for the last couple of years. I don't think they're not consistent. Notre Dame, on the other hand, they've proven themselves. So I'm going Notre Dame.
By the way, Tim going Michigan. So he's going for the. I guess that's not even the upset technically, because Michigan's the favorite. Jake?
I agree with Tim.
All right.
And don't get me wrong, Michigan has not played as well as I think they have, but they've been putting it together. You see them do a lot better. They're really big at home. And honestly, I'm not that impressed with Notre Dame. They've been the favorite in a lot of games, and I've looked at their strength of schedule. And I mean, the only game that they really got tested was the Georgia game, and they lost.
Close though, real close game.
Close or not,
lost on the last
they're like
second field
supposed
goal.
to be. They were supposed to be like favored to go to the national championship. So I don't know. I'm not super impressed with Notre Dame right now. And normally I wouldn't be going for Michigan because I don't think they've played well. But I think Michigan does have the edge in this game.
I don't trust Michigan. I don't trust them to score enough points. It's just last week I was impressed that they got out there and had a chance, but it seems like in big spots they don't make the plays when they need to. I don't think there's any huge difference in talent between these two teams. I'm going to go Irish. I've been a little bit more impressed with the way that they played this year, but the spread, to me, the spread's pretty close. I think this is a coin flip kind of game. Good luck trying to figure out who's going to win it. These are the reasons why you don't bet on sports, this kind of game. All right, Texas playing at TCU. Not much of a road trip up to Fort Worth for the Longhorns, and they're getting a point on the road. I threw this in there just I thought it was an interesting game, and I think a difficult one to pick on top of that. Texas, I think the fact that they're ranked, they've got a better record, probably give them a little bit of the edge on this, but Gary Patterson's always got his TCU team ready to play. I think this will be a fun one to watch. Ricky, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, we got Texas. I think that they're just slightly better across the board. So
okay, Brandon.
Talked about this earlier. Texas favored by 1 on the road. I think Texas is able to go into TCU and win with more than just that 1 point there. TCU just is not having a great year at all. I just don't see him winning this game.
Tim is going with the Longhorns. Jake.
I want to jump out there, but this is probably not the one to do it on.
Just do it.
Yeah, Vegas does have Texas as the favorite, but OddsSharks has Horned Frogs winning the game in a very, very close matchup. I'm going to go ahead and stick with Texas. I don't really have anything on that one. I'm sticking with Texas.
I think it's interesting to see how Texas bounces back from their game against Kansas last week because they did not play especially well. But clearly, Kansas, Les Miles has got Kansas playing considerably better than they did over the last few years. I mean, they were certainly one of the laughing stock programs of the big conferences out there were the Jayhawks. Yeah, it's a 1 point. I'll jump out there. I'll go TCU. I think this is a close game. I'll go Horned Frogs. Manny?
Well, Texas played the Sunflower State poorly, 50-48.
Yeah, the one on the last second field goal.
TCU played the Sunflower State. See, that's in my head now.
Okay.
I was going to say Daniel. I lived in Kansas.
I know, that's why I mentioned
I lived
that.
in Salina, Kansas. Yeah. All I remember was the tornadoes.
Yeah. You could call it the Tornado State. Oklahoma would fight you for that.
Anyway, but TCU played Kansas a lot better. 51-14 won that game. 51-14. That's what's got me scratching my head. And it's in Fort Worth. But I think, Texas is ranked. I think I got to stay with the Longhorns.
All righty. Penn State's going to Michigan State. They're getting 6. Held on for the win last week against the other Michigan school. And see if they can go on the road and get another win. Penn State's sitting in a good spot. I mean, they've got some big games coming up down the stretch against Ohio State and Wisconsin and a few others. And maybe looking forward towards a Big Ten title game. But can't look past Michigan State. They're always a quality program, always somebody that's going to give you a good game. At least most of the time. But difficult one to pick, I think. But I think maybe more people are going to go Nittany Lions here. Jake, who do you like?
Yeah, I do think it's going to be Penn State. I don't see Michigan State winning the game, but you're right. They're scrappy and they always show up. I mean, I don't think they're going to lay down and take it, but I think Penn State still leaves with a win.
I'm going to go Penn State, but Michigan State's defense, I think, can make this interesting, and I think the odds makers are seeing that as well. But I think Penn State's going to find a way on the road. Manny?
Yeah, Michigan State 4-3. Penn State's undefeated at 7-0. They've had some very, very close games and been in some competitive situations. Favored by 6.5. Over and under's 44. Man. Tell you what, I'm a little worried about this because I like Penn State. I like what they've been doing, and I think I'm kind of rooting for them. Not as loud as I can, but a little bit. I'm going Penn State.
And you got some Michigan State friends too, as well. I know sometimes in the past you've.
Yeah. I've got a good friend up in Albuquerque, Bruce Foster, and he went to school there, and he's a big shot with Michigan State, and he would be critical of this pick, but he's not within radio range, so I'm not. And he's bigger than me. He's a former artillery guy, by the way, too.
Okay,
so
there you go, Ricky.
Yeah, I think the Spartans will keep it interesting, but I've got Penn State winning.
Okay, Brandon.
Yeah, I've kind of stuck with Penn State this whole year. I've been consistent on picking them, having a good year. I don't see them losing this game.
I don't have a pick from Tim on that one, so I'll have to get back to you guys on that.
We should pick for him.
Should we give him Michigan State? I don't want to do that because it seems like there was a thing with Lara last week where I think I kind of talked her into picking a game, and of course she ended up getting it right. So it was like, anyway, Utah State at Air Force. Again, another wild card thrown in there. These are two good teams in the Mountain West this year. Air Force is getting 3.5 at home. The Aggies are. Have been, at least over the last 4 or 5 years, one of the better teams in the Mountain West, or previously when the WAC was still playing football. They've been a quality program. And this is after, I think when I was in college at NMSU, Utah State was terrible. New Mexico State kind of terrible. And they've turned that program into something else, which, as an Aggies fan, as a New Mexico State Aggies fan, maybe that should give me hope, but clearly not as much. But this is essentially just home field for Air Force. I'm going to go Utah State on the road on this one. I'm going to go with the UTAGs, the Aggies. Manny.
Well, Utah State's 2 losses. One was to LSU and one was to Wake Forest. Air Force lost to Navy and to Boise State.
None of those are bad losses.
No, yeah. I mean, they're a loss is a loss, but in the overall scheme of things. But I got a sentimental attachment to the academies. I'm going to go Air Force, and that's the only reason.
Okay.
Go Falcons.
Ricky.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game, but we've got Air Force winning as well at home.
Okay. By the way, I like how you say we. It's a team.
It's we because yeah.
I appreciate that. I think it's good. Brandon.
I kicked Justin off my team. So just playing.
I'm a bad pick away from that too. So
He'll be back on your team that day that you're busy and you need him to come down here.
Absolutely. I'm just giving him some fun there. I like Utah State on this one. No real reason. I just feel like out of the two, I think they've played a little tougher schedule, and I think they just have a little bit more there. And that's it. That's
okay. Tim goes Air Force. Jake?
Air Force.
Okay.
Flying with the Falcons.
It's you and me and Brandon. I'm a little scared by that. Let's see. BC is going to
Those
Clemson
just make
this
you
week.
nervous. You're like,
BC's going to Clemson this week, so that's why we didn't have Clemson on the sheet for Lara. They're 34-point favorites at home against the Eagles. Arkansas's at Alabama. Bama's a 31.5-point favorite at home.
is that all?
With a hurt quarterback.
With a hurt quarterback.
I mean, it's nice for Alabama that they don't have to play anybody. They don't have to play LSU this week. They don't have to play
Can we
Auburn
borrow
this
Hurts
week.
again?
Yeah. That kid may be good. It's just, I mean, you shove somebody into a game like that all of a sudden, and I think
It's
they'll be
Alabama.
fine.
They're gonna have them prepared.
Yeah. And there's two huge games this week. We didn't have it on the sheet mainly because I didn't think we were going to see as much differentiation in the picks. But number 9 Auburn's at number 2 LSU. Now I go around the table here. Would anybody have picked Auburn for that game?
Auburn versus LSU.
Auburn at LSU. Would you have picked Auburn?
Death Valley.
Yeah, I know. That's my thought. I'd have picked LSU.
I gotta look a little bit more into it, but I think I might have actually thought about it.
Thought about it? Okay. Manny, you got LSU at home probably in that game?
Yeah. Tigers.
I'll be rooting for
Auburn.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know both you and Manny will be rooting, and actually Jake as well.
Yeah,
with an
didn't
Alabama
Auburn
fan.
come out on a game earlier this year that we didn't think they were gonna win? Well, I thought they were gonna win.
Oregon. I think that was that Auburn-Oregon game earlier this year that they
I
won.
think so. Yeah. So
They've they're a very good football team. I could see Auburn going in and winning it. And Wisconsin's at Ohio State, number 13 Wisconsin. They lost to Illinois last week on the road on a last-second field goal. Illinois is not good. By the way, former Bears coach Lovie Smith, if you've not seen his glorious beard, we've been talking about glorious beards. That man has a glorious gray beard. It's awesome. They're at Ohio State, and again, anybody would they gone with the Badgers this week?
no.
Manny, we don't need no stinking Badgers.
We don't need no stinking Badgers.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right. I figured I'd just throw those two out there because I know those are the two of the big games this week, and we didn't have them on our pick
Credit
sheet.
where
So.
credit is due. You do a great job picking games. We're fine.
Oh, no, I know. I was, for the listeners, too, going, why did you have that
That
one?
was
I just-
humble. He said, "I know." Like that hurts.
No,
I know.
Listen, I try. I put a lot of time into it to try to do that,
good.
so, And then I say things that I don't even realize. I didn't even know I said I know that.
I know. I was just thinking, it's a reflexive response. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm just.
Somebody says something to you and you go, you too, and it's not something that
I
you
hate it
answer
when I
you
do that.
too as well.
You walk away and you're like, why did I say that?
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and pick some NFL games, more of the KNMZ Football Roundtable coming up for you next.
If you and your family are looking for a new home, you don't have to look far for a home mortgage. As a community bank, we not only have great rates, we offer you friendly financial service right here in the neighborhood. There are a lot of options in real estate lending. We're here to see that you get a loan you can live with. Talk to us about your home mortgage. We're an equal housing lender. First National Bank, member FDIC. When you grow, we grow.
At Charles Garland and Harris Insurance, we are proud of the great high schools in Alamogordo, Cloudcroft, Mescalero, and Tularosa. Our student athletes set a valuable example for everyone to follow. They work hard to succeed in the classroom and in competitive sports and contribute enormous time and energy to bring pride to their schools and community. At Charles Garland and Harris Insurance, as we work hard to protect the families and businesses of Otero County, we proudly take pause to follow our student athletes and extend our best wishes for their success every day in the classroom and on game day.
There are no further roadblocks scheduled on either Highway 70 or 54 South. For the latest roadblock information, the number to call, 575-678-1178. Today's forecast is calling for sunny, mostly clear tonight in Alamogordo, high of 59, low of 32. For Cloudcroft, high of 46 and an overnight low of 25. For tomorrow, we're looking at sunny skies, warming up a little bit. In Alamogordo tomorrow, high of 69, low of 46. For Cloudcroft tomorrow, high of 60 and an overnight low of 31.
Here at Christ Community, we are all about Jesus, we're all about people, and all about community. We are more than a building, more than a gathering. We are more than a religion. We are a place to belong, a place to be changed, and a place to experience relationship with God and others. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, and no matter what you've done, Jesus loves you, we love you, and you belong here at Christ Community.
Wow, look at all those bright colors.
Yep, good old Tularosa Basin sunsets.
No, Mike, I just came from the Chevy house and I have a 2020 in my sights.
While everyone else still has 2019 vision, we have the new 2020 models in stock right now.
With supplier pricing in full effect for the 2019 models,
Which gotta go.
you can also get a great deal on a brand new just in inventory, newly released, never ever seen before, new to the area.
Hey, they get it. The 2020s are exclusively here at Desert Sun Motor Chevrolet.
Plus, we have the best in market, best service, tenderly loved and regrettably traded in pre-owned vehicles within 250 miles. We will not be undersold. All offers will be accepted.
That's right. With little or no money down financing and higher than market value for your trade, how could you not come down to 2600 North White Sands Boulevard or visit us online at DesertSunMotors.com.
See dealer for details. All available 2019s are still in stock. Not all 2020s have arrived yet. Deals may be the hottest under the sun. Purchase of one or more vehicles could increase your heart rate. Proud supporter of Taco Tuesdays. Keep hands and feet inside at all times. Do not attempt this at home.
Hi, my name is Jake Roberts, and I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker Southern Nelson. Are you looking for your dream home, or are you looking to sell your property and need the guidance to get noticed? I can help you with professional real estate services today. Call me at 575-446-8574 or email me at jake@nmvistas.com. To view a list of our inventory, visit our website at alamogordo-coldwellbanker.com or visit us at 800 Scenic Drive in Alamogordo.
ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Welcome back to the KNMZ Football Roundtable. We're getting to our pro picks for this week. And starting off with the one game on this side that will be an absolute dog. Or maybe it won't be. Maybe Baker money maker, interception thrower will come up with something big here in this game. I'm hoping. I mean, there's a possibility that maybe Cleveland will show up and have a good game against the Patriots. New England still, that defense is just unbelievable.
I don't think it matters if Cleveland shows up or not. The defense has just been ridiculous for New England.
Yeah, Brady's had an okay year. He really hasn't lit the world on fire like he has in other seasons. That team is good because of their defense. Or let me put it this way: they are great because of their defense this year. Not to say that Brady won't play well when they get around to the postseason.
We don't really know because he hasn't had to.
Yeah, I mean he'll be Tom Terrific when he needs to be. I have no doubt, but. The defense deserves the credit for how great New England is so far this season. But Lara's not here, so we'll let Jake start it off. And you gonna?
I feel like I just spoke my piece.
You probably did.
And no, I'm not taking Cleveland in this one. So we'll take New England at home. New England's actually done me pretty good the last couple of weeks. Bobby, Lara knows exactly what I'm talking about. So we're doing pretty good there. I'm gonna stick with New England on that one.
I'm going to go Patriots. I mean, there's nothing I've seen from Cleveland that makes me believe that they could win this game. I'm hoping it would be wonderful if they pulled off the upset, but I think you got to go Patriots.
New England drops a weird game every once in a while.
Oh, absolutely they do. Yeah, especially early in the season, but they're starting to, man, that defense is just, they're special.
Man. The last time Cleveland won in Foxborough was 1992. And Bill Belichick was the coach of the Cleveland Browns.
I feel like I heard that, actually.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah.
I'm going Patriots.
Ricky.
Yeah, I don't think Lara would have let me pick Cleveland anyway, but there was no chance that was going to happen. We got New England.
Brandon.
I'm going to be rooting for Cleveland. New England's going to win. But I read something. I don't know if you guys read it in the newspaper a week or so ago, where they were comparing these young quarterbacks to who they feel like they match up to. And they, of course, they matched up Baker Mayfield to Brett Favre. And they showed a statistic about how many interceptions Brett Favre, and Brett Favre, I think, holds the record
I believe that.
for one of the most intercepted quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And so again, when you
He's still
look
like
at these
fourth or fifth
two,
in
they're
touchdowns,
slingers.
too.
I mean, that's what they do. They're. I've always said all along that Baker Mayfield reminds me of Brett Favre. The way he throws, the way he runs, the way he conducts himself, the way he kind of can pump up a team. Brett Favre's the same way. But, anyways, just something to talk about football while we're talking about it.
Well, and this might be controversial, but I think defenses are probably smarter than they were back in the days when Brett Favre was playing, too. So Brett Favre could get away with some of that because maybe the defense wasn't as on top of things as they are now. But I feel like now, with as much video and as much as we have like information available to us, I just don't think that gunslinger attitude is going to work. I don't know. It's exciting to watch.
It's kind of weird because I actually think defenses can get away with less, and the league is trying to make it a more offensive league. So I kind of on the other side of that. I think Brett probably had a tougher time of it with the defenses and the things they could do contact-wise with receivers and stuff. So
I'll give you that. I'll concede that.
And Brett was getting hit too.
yeah,
That is true.
Oh my goodness! There was a roughing the passer on Kirk Cousins last night, and literally the guy kind of ran into him and like tinked him with the front of his helmet on the front of his face mask, and they threw the flag. And it was just, I'm all for protecting the players, especially with the head hits, but man, there's got to be a line of. But I'm sure that they tell the officials if there's any head contact, throw the flag, and unfortunately, that's where we are right now in the NFL. All right, Oakland going to Houston. Manny, this is what the 5th or 6th straight week that the Raiders have. I know they technically played a home game in London, but this schedule is ridiculous.
Yeah, they've been on the road, and it's been interesting. You can't, you got to play with the schedule. Whatever the schedule is, you got to play it.
The Raiders and the Bucks both have had the same kind of thing. It's crazy.
And so, my disappointment with the Raiders right now is that they're in the red zone, and I mean on the goal line 3 times. They're right there, and they can't get it in. And so I hope they figured out that in this last week. And you got to give the Packers credit. Aaron Rodgers was on fire.
Oh yeah,
and that was a spectacle. And I just after I realized what was happening, I just sat back. And just, all right, I'll keep the TV on, but I know where this ride is headed. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go Oakland on the road. Why not?
All right, Ricky.
Yeah, I think that Oakland's got to clean up some things. I don't think that they're playing that bad, just not well enough. And then Houston, I thought they played well last week, just not well enough. In Indy, that's a tough place to win, so I think they're going to win at home.
Okay, Brandon.
Yeah, I think this was one of the ones that I asked Justin why he picked Oakland last week. And I was like,
you know what? That game turned on when Derek Carr fumbled the ball into the end zone and the Patriots went down the field and scored right before the half. That was a close game, and I thought the Raiders had the momentum. So, I don't think it was that bad of a pick. I think there's some things that went really wrong for the Raiders in that game.
You just a few little adjustments at halftime, and all of a sudden the game turned into
Yeah.
But it's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he'll make the adjustments. I don't know.
No. I think there's just some things that didn't. It was real close to. On one side, they could have probably marked Derek Carr out of bounds on that play. He was real close to being it. Then on the touchdown, going down the other way for the Packers, it looked like the guy almost stepped on the white line, but he reached out and got the pylon and got the touchdown. So it was just. I don't know. I thought there were some circumstances that really went against the Raiders.
He reached out with both hands.
Yeah. Yeah, it was close. Eddie,
touchdown, Jesus?
Yeah, something like that, right? Anyway, Brad.
Yeah, Houston played good against the Colts. Glad my Colts won. I think Houston's going to win at home on this game as well.
Jake.
Houston.
Yeah, Houston's a little bit of an enigma, and I do think Oakland can win this football game. I'm surprised the line's as big as it is, but I'll go Houston at home. But the Texans have been a little up and down for me this year. I thought last week didn't play very well against the Colts, but credit to Indy. They're having a solid season. Tim, by the way, is going to Houston in that game.
But I had him marked for Oakland.
So we'll just keep it that way, right? Since
yeah,
you
I'm
have
down with that.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right. Denver going to Indianapolis this week. Indy, again, the line's not as big as I would think it would be. 5.5. Denver's having a rough season this year, but I'm sure. Yeah, I'm not really sure why that line isn't bigger, to be all fairness. But Brandon,
it was the same way last week. I mean, just I guess they're not feeling that Indy is the team that they should be. I don't know. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Indy at home. I think it's going to be a blowout. But that's my opinion. Denver hasn't shown me nothing.
I agree. They won those 2 games back to back against was it Tennessee, and then or before that it was San Diego or L.A. That week. So yeah, L.A. is another. The Chargers another one. They're like, I can't figure that one out. Tim is going with Indy. Jake.
I don't see Denver coming away with a win at all. I think we've already said this numerous times. Indianapolis has shocked us. Brissett is doing a fabulous job of taking over that team. We were all really thinking they were going to have a down season, but honestly, I mean, there's no reason why you can't expect them to be what they were and have been in the past year. So I'm taking Indianapolis. They shocked the world in 2019, and we'll just keep seeing what happens.
I'm impressed. Jacoby Brissett, went from that guy that was the 3rd-string quarterback from the Patriots, and he's worked himself into a starting job in the NFL. And I think he's cemented himself so far this season. Things can obviously change very fast, but it's cool to see his story and the way that he's come along in the NFL. Again, I'm surprised that this line is as close as it is. Denver's defense certainly gives you a little bit of pause, but I think Indy at home, they should take care of business. Manny?
Yeah, the Colts have got the high ground, especially with the oil can at home. I'm going to have to go Colts on this one.
Ricky?
Yeah, I think Denver's just played pretty poorly. I think they've got some good pieces there, but, the defense is what they were really riding on, and then losing Bradley Chubb. We got Indy winning.
Yeah. And did they trade away to Emmanuel Sanders, too? I'm trying to think of who they traded him to all of a sudden. I can't think of it, but they traded away one of their wide receivers as well. But everybody's on the Colts. Okay. Philly going to Buffalo. I got to say, as a Bills fan, I've consistently been waiting for the other shoe to drop, and for a little while I thought it was going to be that Miami game last week. This one feels legitimately like it could be. Buffalo, I mean, they've won ugly all season long. The defense is good. I don't think they're as good as maybe some people have written about. And they're playing a very good offense this week in Philly. But Philly's obviously coming off a terrible game last week. They're not playing their best. So, I'm going to stick with the Bills. I'm going to go with Buffalo, but this is definitely a game I can see the Bills losing. They're 5-1, and I don't really feel that good about it. In all fairness, it's been nice to see them win these football games, but I don't think they're that good.
Have some faith, Charles. Have some faith. With good reason.
Why?
I understand where you're
Why? What reason have the Bills over the years given me to have faith?
None whatsoever.
Yeah, so I would love to see them continue this, but I'm going to go with the Bills, but I sort of think Philly's going to win this game. Manny?
They did struggle against Miami, and I was a little surprised by that. But, on any given day, those things just happen. And so I think Philadelphia is at a disadvantage going into Buffalo. And this is a road game for them. Buffalo Bills are 5-1. I think they've got something going on. I do. And I'm sorry you're not more confident about it.
I've seen too many bad things happen.
Well, yeah, I know. I don't want to bring up the 4 Super Bowls again, but...
I think you just did.
I just did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's mean. Anyway, I'm going Buffalo Bills at home.
All right. Ricky?
Yeah, I mean, Philly coming off that bad loss to my Cowboys. I mean, I just think that O-line's banged up. Their defense isn't showing much. I think Buffalo's got this one.
All right. I'm kind of surprised. I figured somebody jumped out there with Philly. Brandon?
Yeah, it's not going to be me. Buffalo, when was the last time we talked about Buffalo having that kind of record, right?
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for them to have a winning season. They're due. They're due. I just hope they keep winning and keep rolling up that ladder there.
Tim's going Philly, so he's the one that jumps out there. Jake, how about you?
See, and here I was hoping more people would go Philly on this one. Philadelphia, and I didn't catch his name, but Philadelphia released their cornerback on Sunday, and he was actually on Undisputed today talking about the toxicity of that locker room and what's going on in there, and just things are just everybody's pointing fingers and they haven't been able to deal with the success, and so it sounds like they've lost control of the locker room. I don't know that Philadelphia is going to recover at all this year. They're a better team than what they've played, but the way Buffalo's playing, I'm taking Buffalo, but not because I think Buffalo's great, but because I think Philadelphia has some
there's a mess going
issues
on there. I hadn't heard about that, but that's certainly shouldn't be too surprising based on what we've seen in some of the games this year. But yeah, I don't know. I'd love to be more confident in my Bills. It's just it doesn't feel right. It feels like I don't know what I'm doing. Speaking of another team that hasn't been in this position in a while, is the San Francisco 49ers. And I'll tell you what, man, 49ers fans are coming out of the woodworks. They are, I haven't heard from people all of a sudden like, yeah, I'm a big Niners fan. Really? I never knew that. Anyway, Carolina going on the road. Carolina's having a nice season, and Kyle Allen has played really well for Carolina. I think, we talked about Teddy Bridgewater keeping the job in New Orleans, and we all kind of made fun of Jake a little bit when that happened. I think we all think Drew Brees is going to be back. No, I think Brees might be back this week.
I do not. I think they're going to sit Brees again.
Oh, they may sit him, but he's going to come back when he's ready.
No, there's no doubt. Yeah. No, they're saying he's close to being ready now, but they're not fighting. He could probably start this week. I don't think he starts.
Yeah. There's no reason, especially against who they got, Atlanta this week. They got somebody bad this week. I can't remember who it is. But Kyle Allen, he may keep that job when Cam Newton's healthy. I think that there's a legitimate possibility of that happening that way. So we'll see. Ricky, who do you like?
Yeah, Carolina has, since Kyle Allen's taken over, played really well. Of course, San Francisco, that defense, I don't think that San Francisco's offense is that good. I think they've kind of adapted that New England mentality, just don't lose us the game. But I got San Francisco winning.
Oh, I love their defensive coordinator. The San Francisco defense coordinator is that ball guy. He's getting all pumped up and all the plays. that Rams game, man, it was fun to watch that guy. I can't think of his name, but Brandon.
I have been pretty unsuccessful picking against San Francisco this year, just because I have that it's San Francisco, thoughts, but. I'm gonna stick. I'll go San Francisco at home on this one.
Jake.
So odds makers have San Francisco favored. Odds Shark has the predicted score at being 8.9 Carolina versus 31.6 to San Francisco. I think that's a little high, especially with Christian McCaffrey. He's been a really good player. I think they're a better team than what they're getting credit for. That said, San Francisco's really turned the corner. I had all the faith in them when they went and got New England's quarterback, Jimmy G. So I'm going to take San Francisco here, but I don't think it's going to be the blowout that some people are predicting.
Oh. Yeah, the Niners are another one of those teams that I'm just not totally sure on yet. I'm going to go Carolina. I'm going to jump out there and take the Panthers on the road here. Manning.
Oh, even after I gave you the numbers. All right, then.
Give me odd shark numbers.
The 49er defense is for real. They've been taking care of business, and business has been very, very good. I'm going 49ers.
All right, Green Bay going to Kansas City. There is talk that Patrick Mahomes may play in this game. If not, obviously it's Matt Moore. This would be, I think, a much more exciting matchup if Mahomes is able to play. I think KC should not rush him back, but we'll obviously see if that ends up being the case or not. So Packers are getting 3.5 on the road, and Manny mentioned earlier, Aaron Rodgers had an historic game last week, 6 total touchdowns, 5 passing, 1 rushing, perfect quarterback rating, and maybe you talk about something turning the corner, that Green Bay offense, which has been so-so this year, maybe turning the corner. Man, who do you like?
Got to go with Green Bay. I know it's at Arrowhead, but Kansas City's lost a couple of games at Arrowhead.
They have.
Surprisingly. But after what Aaron Rodgers did last week, he's going downhill. And I'm talking about super possibilities. Who can beat the Patriots? The Packers look like they could be the ones. They could do it. So I'm going to go ahead and go Aaron Rodgers, even though it's an Arrowhead. We'll see what happens.
Ricky.
Yeah, I think if Patrick Mahomes was going to play, and I know they haven't officially ruled him out, but I don't think they're rushing him back. I think it'd be a much different game, but we got Green Bay winning.
All right. Brandon.
I don't know what you mean by Green Bay had a perfect game last week. They've had 2 or 3 in a row where Aaron Rodgers has just been on fire, in my opinion.
The quarterback.
The quarterback, he is on point, and so he's looking great, in my opinion. I mean, his throws and their receivers, the ball placement's been the best that I've probably ever seen. I'm going to go Green Bay on the road. Fun game to watch.
Tim is taking Packers. Jake.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers on this one. I still have some questions about Kansas City's defense. I think Patrick Mahomes would have to play to even make this a game, and he'd have to put up 60 points. It would have to be all on Mahomes, and I don't know if he's going to play, and I don't have any faith in their defense, so I'm taking Packers.
I'm going to go Packers. I think they'll get the win. Alrighty, football tonight, Tigers, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff in the Wool Bowl. You can tune in here on ESPN Alamogordo. Aggies tomorrow at noon, 1 p.m. kickoff against Georgia Southern. Everybody have a wonderful weekend.
Who did Tim pick on the Carolina-San Fran game?
From Niners. Yeah, I was the only one who was silly enough to jump out there. All right, that's going to do it for the show, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your Friday.